Hello, welcome to Philly. Welcome to my channel. Today we are making an amazing recipe, a recipe that you will see and maybe have seen at some really nice restaurants, and it's crispy sushi rice with spicy tuna. A lot of times they'll just say crispy rice with spicy tuna or spicy salmon. It is an amazing dish, appetizer especially, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And I've never done this fully, so I'm going to be trying it right along with you, so I'm very excited. The first thing you need to do is you need to get started with the sushi rice. And so I already made my sushi rice earlier today, and so because it needed to chill. And so I did a video, and I'm going to actually start that with you right now. So let me get that going. That's interesting. Whoops, 1 second.
Is rice showing now?
Is the rice showing?
Now there's Google showing. Yep, now there's rice.
Okay, all right. So I just need to mute this. So I need to go here and mute this so we don't hear me and we hear the video instead. Thank you to my tech crew. To make sushi rice, you're going to first take 1.5 cups of sushi rice, and it's a short grain rice that's perfect for sushi and its applications, and you're going to rinse it well. Pour it into a bowl, and then you're going to add water. After you add water, you want to swish it around, and you'll notice the water gets very cloudy. And you want to keep replacing the water until when you swish it around, it becomes less cloudy. We want to get rid of a lot of that extra starch. You can see now, after rinsing and draining it many times, when I agitate it, it still has a little bit of cloudiness, but it doesn't have as much cloudiness as it had before. Now it's ready to cook. So now I've put my drained 1.5 cups of sushi rice that I've rinsed well and drained, and I put it into my pot that I'm going to be cooking it with, or cooking it in. I'm going to add 1.5 cups water, fresh water, so equal parts rice and water, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a low boil, you want to stir it well to make sure nothing is sticking, and then you're going to put your lid on, a tight-fitting lid. You're going to turn your heat down to low, and you're going to let it cook for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you want to turn off the heat and move it to a cool burner to steam for another 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, we are going to make the vinegar that we are going to be mixing with the rice. We're going to make the vinegar that we're going to be sprinkling on the rice once it is done. To do that, you are going to put 1/3 cup of rice vinegar into a microwave-safe container. To that, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Mix it up, and then you will heat it in the microwave for a minute or until it dissolves, and that you'll just set aside until our rice is done. Our rice is perfectly cooked. We are going to put it in a wider bowl or plate if you have. You'll see why in a minute. Get it all out. And then the mixture that we had microwaved, you can see it has had a chance to cool and it's all dissolved. The technique to do is you're going to pour the seasoned mixture of vinegar over top of a spatula and kind of flick it around. And that way it helps it not settle too much in any one place. And then this is going to help season our sushi rice that we just cooked. There we go. And then you want to toss it. Make sure it is well mixed. Toss it around. And then lastly, you want to line kind of rectangular or round dish. Rectangular is going to work best for our purposes for when we cut into little rectangles. And line it with some saran wrap. And you're just going to put that seasoned sushi rice into the container. And then you're going to press it into the container so that it becomes a flat surface. So you just want to smush it into all the corners to a solid, a more solid, I should say, surface. Let's get that into a somewhat even surface. Smooth and press. And then you're going to let it cool for a little bit because if you wrap it up and cover it and put it in the refrigerator now to cool, it'll continue to steam and can get mushy. So we want it to cool, to mostly cool before you put it in the refrigerator. So keep it out until it cools for the most part. Then you can wrap it up and put it in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours or overnight. Now, the last time I tried showing a video ahead of time, there was some buffering before things settled down a bit. So please forgive the connection, everything, but it takes a little bit to settle down. But I saw that Richard Chicago 1 says, hi, I see rice. Yes. Welcome to Philly Live. I'm so glad you joined.
And he says, there you are.
Yes. So there was some prep that needed to be done before this recipe because the sushi rice needs to be put into kind of a mold, a flat rectangular mold, and then chilled. And that will enable us to do one of our next steps. Not quite yet, but one of our next steps. And so that's why it was important to make sure I showed that ahead of time. So that I did this morning, and so it has been chilling and it'll be ready for us. Oh, hi, Chef Archie Pie. Well, as you can hear, I don't quite sound like myself. I'm doing okay. It was a rough weekend, I will have to say, and even yesterday. So Friday I felt like quite a bit better. I was glad I'd taken off work because I wasn't all the way better, but I was like, oh, I'm seeing the end of this. And then Saturday I felt worse, which was a complete surprise. So I was really disappointed with that and frustrated. And then today I feel more like I did Friday. So it has been an up and down rocky road for sure. And yeah, that's kind of how I am. But I did feel good enough to do the stream, and I'm, if I have to cough, I'm gonna go aside so we don't get that in the microphone, and I'm gonna be washing my hands a lot. So yeah, so that's kind of how I'm doing. But it has not been a fun weekend, but I'm glad I had the weekend. I didn't have to take more days off work, so that was a blessing for sure. So welcome, Richard, and welcome, Archie. I'm so glad you're here to join me with this, because I have not done this dish before. So Hubs is going to be actually manning the chat just to make sure that, if you guys are saying anything, he'll help me and read them off so that I know what's being said.
Archie said, jolly well done. Get Hubster on extra duty. So there you go.
Yes, he's got my back.
Good news that you were on the net, Richard said.
Absolutely good news. But we had talked, this is something that we have had for years. And the picture that I posted on Twitter, those of you who are joining us in the live stream that maybe aren't chatting, please know that you are welcome. And if you're watching this video later, I just want to let you know that if you want to kind of be more in the know of everything Philly, please make sure and find me on Twitter at Philly Live, because I do post a lot of things about my streams and other foodie stuff. And the picture I posted for this was actually a picture from Nobu 57 in New York City. And gosh, when did we first go there? How long do you think it's been?
It's been probably 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's probably more like 10 years, the first time we went. And we went there.
Been there numerous times.
We've been there numerous times because after we went there the first time, we had to go back. And anyone, that I really like sushi. And so Nobu 57 was just a renowned place and we wanted to go there. It can get quite pricey. But actually, the first time we went there, it really wasn't too bad, but the prices have definitely gone up.
Yeah. Well, it's New York and on 57th Street.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen increase in prices, and frankly, the price for this dish is crazy, which is so good to learn how to do it at home because it's so much cheaper to do it at home than what they charge you. No offense, Nobu 57. But what's interesting is this past year, we've seen it at a place in Philly called JG High. We saw a version of it. And then we saw it at Double Knot. Remember Double Knot had an appetizer?
And by the way, Archie said, hey, Ebbs, you sound back to normal, mate. And I would say for the most part. I'm on 2.5 weeks now, but.
So what we've decided is I kind of have the half life of what his was. Because I did have the flu vaccine. He wasn't able to get it before it got him. And so like everything I experienced about half the time that he experienced it. So
same severity, but
same. Well, I feel like yours was a little more severe. And so it's funny. Everything that's happening, it's tracking. He'll be like, "How you feeling today?" And I'll say, and he's like, "Yep, that was next." I'm like, "Great." and the kick in the butt is that we were really careful. All during it until maybe after it'd been 2 weeks, because I feel like things you're just not as contagious the longer it goes. But apparently that did not work well for us. But I also work at a school, and it could have been that I got it also from one of the children that I work with.
Richard said the Nobu 57 photo looked so light and fresh. So
yes.
It was great.
It was great. But what we're going to do at the end is we are going to plate it 2 different ways. We're going to plate it the way Nobu 57 does it, and we're going to plate it the way that it was at JG High, which is in Philly, it's like the tallest building in Philadelphia, right way at the top, gorgeous views, Comcast Technology Center. And Double Knot's another really well thought of, delicious restaurant. And they did it a little differently too. So we did notice that at JG High's, they actually don't do a spicy tuna mixture. They did sea trout. They just did like a beautiful piece of sashimi on top of that, which was really quite cool. Well, hi Diaz, welcome to the stream. Well, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you all guys just caring about us too here in Philly. But yeah, it's interesting because Hubs and my son that you've seen on stream, they had COVID over Christmas last year. It made a real crummy Christmas. It was literally 2 days before Christmas, and then you tested positive Christmas Eve, right? Or Christmas Day, or Christmas morning. Like, cheers to that. But this flu that we've both experienced, and I got it in May for the first time, is actually we've been vaccinated. We had vaccinated all the times they recommended and boosted and did all that good stuff. This has been actually much more of a pain in the butt than the COVID was.
Pretty severe.
And I had the vaccine, right? And everyone's different, but I had the vaccine too, Anyway, so we are hopefully on the mend, but oh my gosh, everyone, wash your hands, stay away from people that are sick because there's a lot going on around now and you don't want it. But I really am so thankful for Richard, Archie, and DS, and anyone else that's joining us but wanting to stay in the background. So we are going to be showing you 2 different ways to plate it. And also you could very well substitute a sushi grade salmon instead of the tuna with this. So the first thing, DS said, I got ill too. I feel much better today. Needed some Philly in my life today. Oh, it's a little bit of a horse Philly. And someone was saying, I forget who I spoke. We had someone that had to come in and check our, our furnace to make sure that was okay. Oh no, that was before I was sick. I forget who I was talking to on the phone. Maybe it was about that trip. But anyways, they said they noticed my voice sounded horrible. And they thought I'd been at the Phillies game, because our Phillies journey ended last night. It was not meant to be. They'd had a great unexpected season, but it was not meant to be. So that was a little bit of a bummer.
So Archie said, are you guys still masking up over there? No, but you will at school tomorrow.
Oh, when I go back to school tomorrow, I will be masking up because I worry that there might be still some contagiousness, and I don't want my kiddos to get any of that. So there's some masking here. I wouldn't say there's enough masking, for sure, but there is some masking, and we'll see how it goes as more people get get ill. But in any event, I'm going to dive in. So as you can see, I already made the sushi rice. It's already chilling. It's been flattened out. We'll be getting that in a minute. The next thing we need to do, and actually I do need you here for that, is we are going to be making, or I'm going to be putting together the spicy tuna mixture that's going to be going, and one of the applications going on top, and on the other application it's going to be going in a bowl, and you'll see kind of what can happen with that one. But I will say, before I got sick, I went to my favorite market, Riverwards, and I got this mayonnaise that I've been hearing all these things about and feeling like I needed to try this. Being a foodie, I needed to try this mayonnaise. So I got some Kewpie, and I've never had Kewpie. So have you, and you probably don't even know about Kewpie.
Rhymes with poopy.
So because he's not like in the know with the cooking as much, he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. So I found some Kewpie, and then we're going to do a blind taste test. So we've got here, typically what we use, now I'm going to say, I feel like Kewpie's going to have an advantage because I'm going to use Kewpie in the recipe because I hear like it's the only one you should use with sushi, especially spicy salmon or spicy tuna.
Jess says, oh yeah, Japanese man. Richard says, Kewpie's in my fridge.
So this is my first Kewpie. But typically what we buy is Hellmann's Light. And the reason is because I always felt like Hellmann's, I mean, as you know, I try to cut some calories and fat where I can without noticing and without sacrificing taste and texture. And we've always felt like the light kind of we didn't really notice it when we use it. So we always use light just to shave a little bit of calories, a little bit of fat off of it. So I'm going to be doing a blind taste test with my hubs here with the light mayonnaise and the Kewpie. But I am anxious to see if we can taste the difference. So in order to make it a good blind taste test for me, I put stickers under here that have a K and an H, and I did that hours ago. So, and then I squished the stuff in there. So I can't, and in fact, I'll just mix it up some more. So I have no idea which one was which. That was like a long time ago.
We're just going to eat
We're not eating it, we're tasting it.
With nothing like a...
We're just tasting it. Oh, I think you can do this. Okay, so just taste one and then use the other side for the other.
So what am I supposed just which one's
taste
which?
One. Well, which one do you like better? It's not which one's which. Then we'll go see. So this is kind of creamy, salty, mayo-y. This just tastes like mayo. This one.
That's the Kewpie.
Oh, this one's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the Kewpie just because it doesn't taste. I think this is the one I'm used to tasting. Is it okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something pronounced about it. What is that? There's something more. It's okay, so we're going to get rid of this. There's something more about it. Like there's something.
It just has another flavor.
It has another flavor that's much more pronounced.
I don't know what that flavor is.
Now, I've heard actually that flavor might be, although we're just not realizing that's what we're tasting, is egg. Because I think they have more egg yolk in it or something like that. I forget what I heard. But I thought because mayonnaise is made with eggs.
And there's a cameo. Right?
Yes.
Shelby.
And she is not happy because because we just turned the clocks back. So in her head, she should be getting fed right now, and we're making her wait. So she's going to be clicking all over the place. Oh, will you do me a favor? Can you get out the wine there? Because I don't know if Mafo is going to be watching now or if she's going to be watching later when it's just, when it's a video. But I told her I would have a glass of wine in her honor. We always talk about wine on Twitter, and I told her I'd pour a glass for her. So, and this actually, the wine has felt good. The white wine has felt good on my throat.
This is a white Bordeaux.
This is a white Bordeaux. So, Mafo, this is for you. It does. In fact, we had some old Prosecco, and I guess it was, I can't remember if it was, I guess it was Friday. And it actually, the bubbles, it felt really good. The
eggier.
Cold and the bug, eggier. Yeah, eggier.
Richard said eggier.
Excellent.
He said they use only egg yolks and different vinegars. American has the whole egg. There you go.
It might be the different vinegars too, because I feel like there's something tangy about
They
it.
only use the egg yolk.
Yeah,
So
that must be it too.
Okay.
So we could definitely tell the difference. So I'm really anxious to see how it tastes with our tuna. But first, we're gonna get a couple things ready. So the first thing I'm getting ready is garnish for the one way we're gonna be preparing it. And for that garnish, I just wanna get some green onions, and I don't actually want any of the white, so I should have cut that off better. Put that over there. So I'm just gonna cut some green onions so that I can use them as garnish. And then we will mix and cut up our tuna. So when we mix our mayonnaise mixture, in there is gonna go some Kewpie mayo, and as well as some sriracha. And based on the video that I found that has made this same dish, he puts in some sesame oil. So I'm gonna be trying that. I'll put this here for later. And I will tell you, I would have never dreamed of trying to make this, like ever. I would have never dreamed of trying to make this until I saw this video, and I put the link below. The name of the YouTube channel is not just another cooking show, I think is the title. And wait, I'm gonna cough. There we go.
Tia said, hi, Shelby.
Ah, love that cough. It's my favorite. And in any event, I watched the video and I was like, that is the dish. That is the stuff that we've had, these fried yumminess of sushi rice in these little cubes. So, and watching the video, I thought, I can do this. Like, it really made me brave. I thought, I can do this. And so that's when I decided it was going to go on the stream and we were going to be doing this. So the first thing we're going to do is get our mixture that we're going to be putting our sushi grade tuna in. So in here, we are going to be putting a 1/4 cup of mayo, 1½ tablespoons of sriracha, and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. So I'm going to grab our stuff, and I'm just going to eyeball it, because as we've talked about, when you're cooking a lot of your savory things, when you're not baking, you know, it's not necessarily an exact science. So that looks good. Okay. And then this, so I put in my 1/4 cup, and then here I'm gonna do 1½ tablespoons of sriracha. Oh, my sriracha is always stubborn at the beginning. There we go. Oh, love me some sriracha. And then just a teaspoon of sesame oil. There we go. I'm just going to mix that. And I'm going to taste it just to make sure it's the flavor I want, in case I want a little spicier. And just mix that up. I've got my oil heating right over here because we'll need that in a little bit. Oh, woo, that's yummy. That is delicious. Okay, so that's good to go, but I do feel like I'm gonna cough again. Because that spiciness is like making some tickling.
Richard said more wine, and Dia said sushi is fun to make, especially if you have kids.
What's that?
Dia said sushi is fun to make, especially if you have kids.
Absolutely. I'm gonna wash my hands one more time, and I'm gonna get our...
And you didn't taste that and then put it back in there, did you?
Yeah.
Cookies.
Thank you. I can always rely on you making sure I don't give you my cooties. Okay, so I'm gonna get out my tuna. Now we're only gonna be using half of this because this is a pound of tuna. So I've already gotten it pre-cut. So let's see here. I think it's about half of that. Sweetie, would you put this back in the fridge? Thank you. And make sure you're checking the yeah. So in this recipe, you're going to use a ½ pound of the tuna. So what he suggests doing is a 1/4 pound, kind of just doing a nice small dice, kind of like what I had done earlier this year when I was making some sushi poke stacks. So I'm just going to do a little dice. I don't even know how much this is. I don't know if it's maybe like a 1/4 inch. And then the other one you want to actually mince so that you have a little bit bigger cubes and then smaller.
Yes, wow, looks great.
Yeah, some of this is, because if it's going with the grain or against the grain, it's not as cooperative as I would like, but that's fine. I was thinking when I thought of this dish, this would make a spectacular New Year's Eve appetizer. You know, if you were, you know, I wouldn't say a big gathering because it'd be a lot to make, but it would be a standout, especially doing it the way that JG's did it. Don't you think?
Yeah, it would. That was really good. The JG's was. That was
good. I don't know which was better, the crispy sushi rice or the view. The view was just.
Yeah, so it's on the
outstanding.
50, whatever.
It's high. It's high up there. It is,
so
and
it looks over the city.
Yeah,
it's kind of right in center city. Beautiful.
And it's a spectacular inside. Like the actual restaurant bar is spectacular.
There's a fancy restaurant that's
Jean-Georges,
which is down.
Foo-foo, very foo-foo-y.
On the next floor.
Very pricey.
Shockingly pricey.
And so it's nice that you can go to JG's and get some of the same food.
And it's only moderately shocking.
It's only moderately. So what we decided, because we did go, I've been wanting to go there for the view. It opened up, didn't it open up like right before the pandemic?
Yeah, it was bad time.
So it opened up right before the pandemic, and it was a place I'd wanted to go to, because I think we had just moved to the city the year before, and we never got there, and then the pandemic happened. So once things got better, I said, oh my gosh, you know, I just want to go there, you know, let's just do it once. And what we decided that we should do is really just go there, get one drink, this appetizer, get the view, and then just go someplace else.
That's what we did.
Because really, well, no, we got a couple different appetizers, and the bar is really a cool bar. Like I would sit at the bar, you know, and they even have seats right by the windows right around the bar. So there's so many options. It is a really cool. This part's a little fatty, so I'm gonna ditch that piece. When you're a home cook, you can make those decisions. So these right now, both of these are about the same dice, but I'm going to take one and then further mince it. So that way there'll be a little bit of texture differences there. All right, so we're almost done cutting. Excellent. A little fattiness in our tuna, which I know fat is flavor. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to continue to mince this a little more. The other thing, and his name, I wrote his name down. I thought I wrote his name down here. Oh dear. Oh, I put it down below. I think his name is Scott, but I don't quote me on that. I did put it below. So I'm appreciative of the video, not just your average cooking show or whatever the name of it is, because I thought they did a great job and they really inspired me to go ahead and try this. Okay, so we have a larger dice, a finer dice that's more of a mince, and now we're going to add it to our mayo mixture. Now he did suggest giving it a salt. He actually suggested salting it before you even cut it, and then salting it again. Just seemed like a lot of salt, so I decided I was just going to salt it before I combined it, and we'd call it a day. So that could be an hour, but that's kind of what I was feeling. You know, I feel like a lot of this is to our taste. All right, so I'm going to put this lovely tuna in here. And boy, am I smelling that oil. Not that the oil's smelly, but you can just tell. And I will say this is totally out of my comfort zone, because you know, like I don't fry. I think earlier in our marriage, I think I fried a little bit, right? I feel like I did a little bit.
I don't remember you ever.
Oh, I think when we were fat and happy married, and I would just be like, let's make donuts.
Yeah,
remember that? Remember that?
I do remember that.
And I would just like make this stuff, and you were like, great, and we would eat it, and then we'd gain weight. Oh, it was funny. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah, we were with relatively young kids.
Yeah, and and you're young, and you think, oh, I'm just going to burn all this off, and you kind of did, and then we were all of a sudden like, we're both a little plumper than we were, and so we decided that we needed just to make some lifestyle changes. So I kind of stopped frying after that happened. So frying now very much intimidates me because it's not something that I really do. Okay, so now I have this beautiful mixture with our spicy mayo and our tuna. And then what we're gonna do to help us with plating later is I'm gonna put it in a Ziploc bag, I'm gonna put it in the fridge to cool, and then we're gonna use that to pipe onto our lovely little crispy rice cubes that we're gonna be making.
You're gonna pipe the...
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But you've got some pretty large chunks though.
Well, it's not gonna be a tiny hole.
You're gonna have to cut it.
Yeah, you actually measure the hole based upon the width of the crispy rice. So that's
yes,
what
thank God for the air fryer.
Oh my gosh, and I agree. I love my air fryer. In fact, I feel like finally I can get some of that, you know, that texture that we all like with less fat, and it's quick. Very much. In fact, for lunch today, I just threw some chicken thighs in there. And I made like these Greek wraps. All right, so I got this here. Oh, and I'm going to do one more thing prep-wise. I was just thinking about it. So, there we go. A little Ziploc baggie. I want to squish it down. And then we'll trim this just with how far we need. And I'm going to zip it. And we were going to...
That's going to be interesting.
I know. I'm very excited. So we're going to let this chill, literally. And I'm going to get out my sushi rice that I made earlier. But before I do that, I do want to get one more garnish ready. For when we do it the Nobu 57 way, I noticed they actually put on there not green onions, but they put chives. So I have chives, a chive plant, so I'm going to wash this and cut up my little chives. Because I want to try to make it look as much like it as possible.
We have to tell the Nobu 57 story.
Well, you could tell the Nobu 57 story. So we have a Nobu 57 story that Hubs is going to let you know about.
We have a couple, but
we do.
We'll only talk about one. But so the last time we were there,
I have to talk louder because the microphones.
So I'm trying. My voice is not all together there. But so the last time we were there, we took a cab there, and we were pretty well dressed up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you had heels on. Mm-hmm. And when you get out, so it's right on 57th Street. So you get out, the cab drops you off right in front of the restaurant. And the doorman who is there can kind of look out and see who's there. So we get out. I open the door for Amy, and we get out, and she has her heels on, and she steps on the grate.
Like explain the grate, like in the sidewalk that has the vent and all the air that comes through.
Her heel gets stuck in the vent, and her shoe, she can't move. So her shoe is stuck.
And they wonder why we don't like wearing high heels sometimes.
And so I am trying to grab the shoe and pull it up, and she's screaming at me.
And by the way, I put my other shoe in, and then that gets stuck.
Yeah, that gets stuck. So she's screaming at me not to break the heel off. And so long and short of it, the shoes pop off. She's in her bare feet. We get the shoe out. And as we walk into the restaurant, the doorman looks at us, smiles. He's an older gentleman. He says, "Thank you for the show."
Yeah, he said, "Thank you. I enjoyed the little show out there." And I said, "Oh, you're very." Oh no, I said we're charging $10 a pop or something. Because what are you gonna do, right? Oh my gosh, I was just like, just don't break, because we're about to enter the restaurant, and then I could just see me going in like that because my heel popped off.
Oh my God, it was the funniest thing.
It was a little startling, but so this is the rice. So the sushi rice that you saw the video for, this is where I put it in a lined container that has saran wrap. And then what makes it nice is all you have to do. There we go. I was like, all you have to do.
By the way, Richard and DS thought that was funny.
Yes, it is a funny story, we'll say. And then all you have to do is unwrap it.
Richard said, my healthy choice today was only having 3 pieces of sausage quiche for breakfast.
What kind of quiche?
Sausage quiche.
Oh, sausage. I thought you said sausages. Sausage quiche. That sounds delicious. All right. Okay. Oh, I know what I need. Okay. So, this is what we're going to do. Oh, gosh. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting this into little square, actually you can kind of make it whatever you want, but I'm looking for actually half of it I would like to be kind of like squares and the other half I'd like to be kind of like rectangles. And I turned up my oil so that it gets going. There we go. So I'm going to get a good knife, and they do recommend, I'm going to use this knife. I think my one knife is going to be good, but they recommend using some cooking spray on it to help it not stick and make clean cuts, because basically this part we want to look pretty. We want it to be all about the presentation. And frankly, you know, more to that end, in doing this, it's just amazing how the texture that ends up happening there. Like I think I mentioned on my tweet is that this dish just has flavor, texture contrast. It has temperature contrast, so many delicious things. So I'm going to get my little cooking spray and try that.
So how hot do you want the oil, by the way?
It needs to be between 350 and 400.
Do you want me to turn it up a little bit?
I already did, so you don't want to do that right now. All right, so I just want to get, my edges are pretty good, but I'm just going to take off that edge just to make sure it's completely good. Yeah, now that didn't go as well as I had hoped. Okay, I'm going to flip this. I was not happy about that. And it was sticking just like they said. Okay, so see, this is good to see this, like what's working, what isn't. I'm going to get my paper towel, because that is sticky, right? The sushi rice has all this stickiness, which is great. I want it to be a nice, clean cut, because that's going to give us the texture that I want. All right, that went better. And I'm going to try to get a nice, clean cut here.
Can I eat that rice?
How about I give you just a little cube? There you go. Okay. So he's going to do a taste test, make sure it doesn't kill us.
Oh, that's good.
They're good?
Yeah.
So I'm just shooting for a nice edge, and now I'm going to get this wiped off again so that, oh, shell. Click, click, click.
I should probably try another piece just to make sure it's okay.
There you go. All right. Okay, so let me get my knife clean. So this is, I'm just noticing this is probably the biggest part of the process. You just need to get all the gush off.
Richard says wet blades help.
So you think, what do you think, wet or spray?
Wet.
Yeah, I'm gonna try wet then. The only thing I'm worried about, Richard, with the wet is it making more spatter in the oil. You know what I'm saying? That was, because I thought about wet too, but that was my only concern. What are your thoughts with that? And I'm going to try a different cooking spray.
Tia says Shelby wants to try it too.
Oh, I'm sure she does. She would eat anything. When I took out the tuna earlier, Shelby was like, seriously? We did have a I think we've talked about, one of the nicknames we gave her was sushi. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, first I'm going to make my cubes, because the ones from Nobu were more just a cube. So I'm going to do that first. But what's nice is you can really make these as big or as small as you like. So I'm going to do my cubes. And I'm seeing that these won't go cubes, so I'm going to have to do it a little bit different. That's fine. Let me see here. It's actually being pretty forgiving right now, which is good.
Richard says you can try a cube to see, but it's probably going to splatter anyhow, right?
Ah, that's true. I'm going to use these rectangles for the JG presentation, because it's more of like a 2-biter. Let me just, so we get this. We're almost there. Thank you all for your patience. These will be my rectangles. There we go. They're a little bit different sizes. I'll try to make my other rectangles a little bit better. And then here we go. It just seemed like the edges were the harder thing to get going. Now that I've got going, The rest of it has worked out pretty well, which is good. Okay, so I've got mine cut the way I want. Now when I fry this, because I'm doing 2 different applications, I want the ones that are more similarly sized frying together than the longer ones. So the first thing we need to do is we need to toss them in cornstarch. You could use rice flour, and there was another, I'm gonna cough. Excuse me. There was another one that they talked about. Oh, this is not getting up as high as I want.
No, it's jumping. It's jumping.
No, it's.
No, it was just at 250, and it's
all right.
I've been watching.
Hopefully this will work. I decided to use our fondue thing just because I know you can fry things in it, and that way I wouldn't have to have my back turned. So I'm going to use cornstarch, and that's what we're going to be tossing our little cubes of sushi rice in. Now the thing with tossing them, you want them to be coated. In fact, I don't know what that is. The fella, I think his name was Scott, he said that he tried actually making this without tossing them, and what he found was that it was very gummy when you bit into it when you fried them. So he definitely recommends tossing them, but you do want to take off any extra. So you don't want a lot of extra on it, so I'm gonna toss, and then I'm gonna separate.
It's cool looking.
It is cool looking. The other thing that's interesting when these fry is that because it doesn't have the properties that wheat flour has, they're not going to brown like a regular flour would brown. But they'll brown somewhat, but not to the like dark brown that you would be more accustomed to. So I'm just tossing these. And in a minute, I'm going to start cooking these. So one thing I can have your help with once we start cooking them is I need you to be a timer.
Okay.
Because they're going to cook for 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay.
And so we're going to be doing like a round of these. So once I put them in, if you could start timing them, that would be.
Count out loud, or
that if you could count, that'd be lovely, right? Don't we all want to hear them count? And then I'm going to start doing some of these rectangles.
I have the attention span of a flea.
I know you do. I know you do, sweetie. Life is difficult.
Yeah, I wouldn't do all.
So what's the temperature set?
It's almost 300.
See, it should be higher.
No, it's increasing.
Is it as high as it can go? Can it go one more past 8?
No, it
Did you
goes
try?
from 8 to off. So
no, off is the other way. Can you just make sure it doesn't go any further?
Yeah. Yes, it doesn't go any further.
Okay. Well, I'm a little worried about this because I'm worried that my oil's not going to be hot enough. He who cooks so much, I love it. Love. So he thinks it's gonna be fine. So the problem is if it's not hot enough, it can kind of have a greasier taste. That's the main issue. All right, so I'm gonna stop with this. I'm gonna do just 2 more little cubes, and we're gonna start frying. There we go. All right, I'm gonna move all this stuff out of the way and get to frying. And so in front of here, you can see I've got what are the little grates on top, and I don't have the crisscross one, which is, by the way, a great Christmas idea. I've always wanted those ones that are crisscross. They're great for, for when things are, whether it's from the air fryer or regular fryer, if something is cooling. They look like this, babe, but they're even a little tinier in between.
So that's what you. Okay.
That's a great Christmas gift idea. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move this out of the way.
We're up to 300.
Maybe my thing is off, Maybe my thermometer's right. All right.
Whoa, I think it might be.
No, it might be touching the bottom.
It just went up to like 320.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right, so we're gonna give this a go and cross your fingers.
Holy mackerel.
It might have been too much near the surface.
Yeah, it's like 330.
But hopefully it's not touching. If it's touching the bottom, that could be the reason. All right, so I have this to scoop them out.
It's not touching the bottom.
So you ready to time it?
Yep, sure.
Okay. So first I'm gonna try my little cubes. Now the one thing is you don't want to put too many in to bring down the temperature too much.
Look at that. That's so pretty.
And you also don't want them to stick. So I'm just going to put 5 in, and I'll put 5 in the others. I can toss them around. They're bubbling away. Actually, actually. I think you can
Look
see.
at that.
You can see a little bit. See right there?
They're
bubbling.
They're like
I
all bubbling
know.
up. Should I stick my finger in there and check it?
Why don't you stick your finger in there and check it? I'm going to cough. This is cooking in the winter. Actually, it isn't winter yet. Cooking in the fall, when all the viruses just start going around.
Richard said just don't walk. It's well over 350 right now.
We want, that's good. That's not a bad thing. They said ideally 375. So, did you time it?
I did.
Oh, good. Okay.
It was at 446.
Okay. Well, when it's done, that's when we're gonna check it.
So, what time do you want it to?
Between 5 and 6 minutes. So,
Okay.
did you put it for 5?
Yeah, it'll be 451.
But what I'm saying is, when it goes off, I'm gonna check them, and if they look done,
Okay.
I'll take them out. I think the bigger ones might need 6 minutes.
Okay.
But we'll still check. So they're frying away. So once they come out, let me just show you a little bit about the plating. Per the Nobu way, I'm going to be putting they had it where all the cubes, remember they were all stacked up in like a little bowl that they had, and they had toothpicks in them, so they were like, you could pick them up with a toothpick. And then there was a scoop of the spicy tuna, and they had tuna there. That was here, and then they had a little soy sauce. So I'm actually going to wash that one dish so we can put a little soy sauce, just because I want it to be like real legit Nobu 57 way. But I can't remember if we dipped in soy sauce. There was so much good flavor. So maybe we dipped the rice ball a little bit in soy sauce and then put a little. I don't remember. So, but I do want it to be authentic. And then the other one, I'm just going to be literally piping once these come out and are ready to go. I'll be piping our yummy, delicious, spicy salmon on top. These look good. All right, so I'm going to get this bowl washed that had the mayonnaise in it so we can use it. Do you remember where that went?
Which one?
Oh, here it is. Okay. So that we can put soy sauce in there instead. Let me get that washed. I just thought it was interesting because we'd only seen these, at Nobu 57, and then all of a sudden this year seeing them at 2 different places, it was just interesting. So I think somehow they're starting to become a thing, Don't you think it's interesting?
It's a good thing.
Oh, it is a good thing. I mean, the fact that I can get this other places, I'm all for it. So I'm just gonna put some soy sauce in this. There we go. I'm gonna go cough. There's something about the oil smell that is triggering my cough. I'm not gonna lie.
Drink some wine, that'll help.
Is wine a cure-all?
I think it is. It's like,
These are starting to look a little brown. I'm impressed. And there's nothing to cook inside because it's all cooked. It's just gonna help warm them.
so you're at 449 and we started at 446.
Oh, you didn't literally time it. You're just looking at the clock.
Yes.
I was thinking you're going to set the timer
Oh, well, I'll do
for
that
an
next
exact science. Okay. So then I wasn't following. I thought you were meaning when you first said the 440 something, I thought that's how much time was left. So how much time do I have left, my love?
Like a minute.
Okay. He's exact, isn't he? It's a good thing you're so exact. And I'm just wondering, do you think I could be that exact when I'm balancing the checkbook?
Richard said it's a Y chromosome thing.
Well, it makes me cough.
It's Y chromosome timing, he said.
I think you're right.
That's very
I think visually these are looking ready.
See?
Yeah, I think they're
That's all
ready.
that
I'm going to take them out. So look,
So it didn't even
see,
matter what the time
they're a
was.
little brown even. Super excited. They look good.
It didn't even matter.
Oh
what
my
the time.
goodness gracious.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, don't worry. Don't touch. I will take care of that. We know that this is the temperature. We don't even need this fella anymore because it's not getting any higher than that. Okay, so I'm going to put my other ones in. Let these guys cool.
All right, you want me to do the actual timing?
Yes, please.
I get the stopwatch on.
I'm probably going to overcrowd the pan. So And just, okay. Then we just have one more batch to run. All right, so
Those look awesome.
did you do the timer? These do look nice. Can I just show, I gotta show everyone. Look at
I did
this.
the timer.
Look at this. Oh, that looks really nice. I'm very impressed. Probably what's happening is that my thermometer's broken and the oil is actually much hotter than this, and that made me cough. I'm gonna have to cough. So I will say, coming up this week, Wednesday is another Wing Wednesday, and I'm so excited. So I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned before, that we literally had like a dead heat of, because I put the poll through 3 times. And there were 2 votes for garlic parm, there were 2 votes for the sticky Thai, and there were 2 votes for the hot and honey. And at the very end, there was 1 more vote for the garlic parm. So my son is very excited. He might be joining actually on Wednesday so we can try these garlic parm, because Mama has never made garlic parm wings before, especially in the air fryer. So yeah, so that is going to be the flavor for this week, is garlic parm wings.
I don't know if I'm home Wednesday.
Well, then I won't have to make extra. I'll just make enough for Maddie and me.
I'll have to.
You're going to miss the wings?
I'll have to.
Oh, I got a cough. Oh, love it. Love the flu. It's awesome.
So she's been using my.
Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that.
What?
The medicine. We're gonna be giving bad behaviors.
Medicine, yeah.
So, I mean, literally everything that I've done has tracked what had happened to him, and he ended up getting 2 different kinds of cough medicine. So then the past 2 nights I've not gotten much sleep.
Non-narcotic.
Yeah, they're non-narcotic. And so he actually, I used them, but last night it didn't really help much. I think it's helped during the day, those one kind.
Those are just like benzoate. What was it? Benzoate, right?
I don't know.
Something.
They're supposed to help like your receptors not feel as edgy to cough.
It doesn't make you tired.
And I think in general they've been pretty good. I mean.
So Richard said I'm going to make this look really tasty.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to try this.
Can I just have?
No, you can't.
Can I have some of this?
No, sweetie.
No, this stuff is.
Yeah, but we could fry that off and make it even better later.
Oh, it's pretty good right now.
I got a cough again. This is that oil. That oil's triggering me. Does it make you want to cough?
No, this is good video.
Oh my goodness. Okay, how much time do we have left?
3 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, we're 3 minutes into it.
The thing is, Richard, with these is that I think it looks, first of all, it's going to taste amazing, but I think it's like a super cool looking dish too. It's very much a stunner. And I will say, being someone that does not fry, I mean, I haven't fried since our pudgier days. And that was like years ago. And like this, if I can do this,
That was a good time.
anyone can do this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I remember at night, I would be like, I want something sweet. You're like, what are you thinking? And I was like,
She'd
I'm
make
thinking
like bread
apple
pudding.
dumplings, or, you know.
Exactly, right.
And you're like, can you do that? I'm like, of course I can do that. The problem is I could do that. Sometimes it's not always good, all the things you can do.
All right, we're almost 4 minutes in.
I just want to flip some of these. These are looking beautiful.
Why didn't you just throw all of them
So do you know why you can't?
Why?
Because it reduces the temperature of the oil, and then they'll be more greasy instead of crispy tasty. You can't crowd. I do know that. So I've watched enough cooks and chefs. You never crowd. In fact, we were just watching a kitchen the other day, and they were talking about not crowding oil. You don't crowd the oil. And I got a cough. Okay.
It's encouraging to see a couple still together after so many years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. It is good.
It is.
It's
Been
amazing.
many years.
It's been many years, and
it's almost 5 minutes.
And I haven't driven you totally crazy yet. Just a little bit.
Just
crazy.
somewhat.
Just somewhat.
I think you're at 5 minutes.
I will say that both of us, and I feel like this was a blessing, like when it came to empty nesting, we were looking forward to it, and we love our boys. But there's other
5
people, well, this one I was thinking were 6, but there's other people who were you know, dreading, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be alone with my husband or I'm gonna be alone with my wife. And I will say we don't feel that way. You're eating more rice, aren't you?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay, think they're ready?
I do.
All right. So now these are our other ones. Oh my gosh.
All right. Gonna stop.
We'll have one more. So while the other ones are cooking, you're gonna time these also. While these are cooking, I'm going to start piping and scooping, okay? So in a second, I'm gonna have you start the last batch. I need to get those covered.
Okay.
Okay.
Started.
All right. Okay, so while those are going, what I'm gonna do is start getting our things plated. We're getting to that time, that yummy time. Oops, those stay there. And all this oil. Oh, this is gonna be fun cleaning up.
Yeah, this is gonna be a mess.
Woohoo! Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna plate is our Nobu. Our Nobu 57. So what they did, and I'll put some of the fresh ones on top, is they just took their little cubes and they put them in a little bowl like this. So when we get those other ones, we'll put those on top there and they'll look beautiful. I'm just gonna toss these a little bit. Okay, so, and then what I'm gonna do here is put my scoop of, you know what, I'm gonna do that next because I'm gonna need to get some of these lined up first. There we go. Now, one thing, if you want things a little spicier and if you want to make it look even prettier, you can, of course, make your spicy mayo and you could drizzle it. Or if you like spice like we do, you could just drizzle some of the sriracha.
Dia said heavy is too much. I know.
So you can just drizzle a little sriracha. And the benefit of that, too, is that once you put your items there, they're not going to swish all around, which makes it nice. So let me get...
Richard said, I wonder if you could pre-fry the rice and then crisp up
Absolutely,
the
in an
service
oven.
in the air fryer.
Or in an oven. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a
You
good point.
totally, for a party, could do this ahead of time, and then you wouldn't have to worry
That's
about that.
actually a good point.
Because I thought about that. Because obviously you wouldn't want to be doing this right before your guests were arriving. Absolutely. I think you could even, you know, you could either just set them aside or you could refrigerate them and then put them back in the oven and heat them up. I think that'd work. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take one of my rectangles. I'm going to have it stand up nicely like that. And then the key is, Shelby's really interested in this.
Thanks. Because she wants to.
The key is, let me open this back up so I can squeeze. So you want to make sure you measure, this is what you were asking about, you want to measure this with the width of your rice. So I'm going to go right there, because then you can squish out.
Oh, look at that.
Squish out your tuna. Come on, don't stick. No, you might need a little encouragement. Come on. Oh.
Should you have done a little bit bigger?
No, it's just the bigger piece. I should have actually minced more. Okay, that failed. All right, so I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm gonna just smush it up there. I'll try the next one. What I'm noticing is, you know what, next time I would mince it all because the bigger pieces were clinging and they were causing issues. So then you have a top of spicy tuna, atop your crispy rice, and I'm gonna place it right here, and now I'm gonna do another one. And this time, hopefully it'll behave. Come on. Yeah, I just wouldn't have the bigger pieces. I think the bigger pieces are actually causing more problems, to be honest. I mean, I love the idea of different texture, but they're kind of they're causing problems. I'm gonna do this one.
So it wouldn't help if you cut the hole bigger.
So the problem is then it could be bigger than the width, and you don't want that because it'll be coming off the sides. Does that make sense? There we go.
Yes.
That works. I'm just gonna put 3. I'm feeling 3 looks pretty there. And then I'm gonna take a bunch, just rinse a little bit, and get a nice little mound in here. I was gonna use a scoop, but I'm just gonna actually squeeze bunch in here, like they did at Nobu. There we go. Okay. How are those looking?
Good.
And then on top of these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds. I'm going to actually use my fingers so I can be more precise. Like this. I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds. On top. There we go. And then I'm going to sprinkle some green onions.
Okay, we're at 5 minutes. You want me to take them out?
Sure. No, because I'm closer to this. You're going to have to go over the hot oil. I don't think that's smart. And then I'll give them a chance to cool before I put them on top of the other ones. So our last batch. Do you want to turn that off?
Well, do we want to, or do we want to?
Oh, that's true. I think. See, that's why I have you stick around. And then you're just going to put some of these on top. Hopefully they'll stay. Maybe they won't stay.
Doesn't matter. It's all about the look.
Oh my goodness, stay. Wait. It's not tasting time yet. Back off. Back off, love. Okay, and then I'm putting my chives on here.
I'm really hungry.
You would think I don't feed him. Actually, you were in charge of feeding me, which was an interesting change.
I did pretty well.
Mm-hmm. My soy sauce blew off. Okay, I need to cough one more time. Oh, so tireless. Okay, and then I'm going to wash my hands one more time. I'm going to put the rest of those fresh ones over. Can you just take that cutting board and the spicy tuna and just put it over to the other ones that need to be cooked? Thank you. I'm going to take these and stack these up and make them gorgeous. And like I said, you could put, if you did it this way, if you did it the Nobu way, you could put little toothpicks, especially those fancy ones, and you could put like a little knife or spoon. So what they could do is they could dip it in the soy sauce and then put a little bit of that spicy tuna on it. So that is the Nobu way. So let me just bring it around. This is the way in New York City. Nobu 57. This is how it's done. Can people see? Can you see?
Yep. Looks
okay,
good.
So that's the one way. But this is the way, and that's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that way. But I feel like this way with them all individually done, I think is super cool, especially for a New Year's Eve party or a holiday party, any party, because they're like 2 bites. They're a little big for 1 bite, but for 2 bites. And you are chomping at the bit, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Did we have any comments in the chat?
Yeah, there was. So Richard said, hubby is like me as a boy,
I think he's drooling.
waiting for the brownies to cool.
So let's try.
Which is very true.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God. Did you put it on your mouth?
Well, yeah.
2 bites.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Could you hear the crunch? Because it was some serious crunch. It's amazing how much crunch you get.
I'll give you $100 if you let me eat that.
Oh my gosh, you can have that one.
No, I'm good.
Oh my, no, because I want you to hear the crunch. There you go. Do that one. You should take a bite though, because you can't hear the crunch if it's all in your mouth. So here's the mukbang shot. There you go. There you go.
So good.
So good. And the extra kick of spice on the bottom, that's nice.
Man.
I'll tell you. No,
Well done.
we like spice. So
God, that's
To me, that extra kick of just the straight sriracha, I think is really nice. If you're worried about the extra kick, then do the Japanese mayo, the one with, you know,
I think it's
with just the mayonnaise, the sriracha, and the sesame oil. That is so good.
I think it's actually worth the 90 minutes of dishes that I'm going to have to do.
At least it's not the air fryer. The air fryer does cause quite a bit of cleaning up with both of the baskets and everything. So that was really good.
That was.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's great
exceptional.
about it? So I have a sister, I've mentioned, that needs to be gluten-free. She could eat all that.
Oh, really? I guess right.
There's
Yeah,
nothing,
that's right.
there's
right,
nothing
right.
in there that's got gluten in
Nothing
it.
else that would.
Yeah,
would
I
do
need to
that.
cough. Oh my gosh. Hopefully the next time, well, actually, hopefully on Wednesday, you see some progress. So Wednesday is our wing night, 5 o'clock, garlic parm. And then next weekend, it's going to be the best.
Richard said, yes on the crunch. I'll have 47 more, please.
Absolutely.
More wine. More wine.
More
You
wine.
need more wine. Yes. Thank you for doing this, even though you were not 100%.
You're welcome. I felt like I had to get back on the horse.
Yep.
But next weekend's going to be the rescheduling of the best beef stroganoff. So that will be next weekend. And then I just posted on my community part of my YouTube page that the rescheduling of the chicken parm burgers are going to be the following week, because I'm going to be, in the spirit of the Phillies, I'm going to do a double header. I'm going to at 5 o'clock to the chicken parm burgers, and then at 7:30 come back on to show our roasted cranberry clove cocktails, which are like an amazing cocktail for the holidays. And they're stunning. They're beautiful. So they don't go well together. I'm just putting out there.
the what?
You don't have the chicken parm burgers with the roasted cranberry clove cocktail, but
yeah.
I had already scheduled the roasted cranberry clove cocktail, and I'm rescheduling, because I was sick, the chicken parm burgers. So I cannot thank you so much, DS, Richard, and Archie, for coming on. And
Yeah,
for
you guys are
anyone
great.
who's in the wings, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I hope you all have a great week. I hope all of you stay well. Do not get what we have had. It is no fun. So stay well, stay happy, and until we eat again, see you next time.
See ya.
Oh my goodness, what did I do?